So this video is all about why you really only make $1 an hour at your job, and it doesn't matter if you're being paid $7 an hour, 15, 30, 40, maybe $100 an hour. I'm telling you, you only really make $1 an hour, and here's why. In our first example, we're going to use Jake, who makes $7.50 an hour. He works 2 jobs, so he works 8-hour shifts every single day, no breaks, no days off, no resting. He has roommates to lower his total bill cost, and he lives as cheap as possible, only buying the bare minimum stuff he needs. So first off, we have $60 a day earnings, and right now, Jake's rent is $1,200. Now, I know that most people pay more for rent, and I'm going to lump in everything that rent has, which is your electricity, water, trash, insurance, all of that. We're just going to say that all of that is $1,200 a month. So how many days does Jake have to work just to cover rent? So already Jake is down 20 out of the 30 days of the month just to pay for rent. Next up, Jake has to pay for food, and he lives bare minimum, so he doesn't eat that much. So he's only spending $120 a month on food. I know that almost everyone spends more on this, especially if they like to get fancy coffee drinks or go out to restaurants. But Jake, you know, he's a very bare bones guy, so we're going to knock off 2 more days just to pay for that food. Next up, we have gas, car, and internet or phone. Now, me personally, I don't own a phone. I've even made a whole video about it. I think they're too expensive. I don't need one. It's just a big waste of money. But if you combine internet and phone, that'd probably be about $120 for most people, maybe more. Now, the national gas price that people spend is anywhere from $2,700 a year to $5,000, depending on how much you drive. But let's just assume that Jake here drives 1 mile to and from work, and he doesn't really go out or anywhere for that matter. So he's spending at most maybe $60 a month on gas, maybe. And as far as car expenses goes, that is insurance, that is general upkeep. Not emergency repairs, just general upkeep like oil changes and getting your inspection done per year. That's an average of $60. So we're going to go ahead and knock off 4 more days for these expenses. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, these things are all necessary. Rent is necessary to live. Food is necessary to also live. You need your gas in your car to get to work. And internet and phone bill is for just staying connected with people and having a general flow of information and not going insanely bored. And again, this is just the bare bones every single month requirement. So we have 4 days now. Jake has 4 days where he earns money that he gets to pocket towards anything that he might, have a dream of, like a house or a new car, or maybe he wants to take a girl out on a date or something. He's got 4 entire days that he gets to save, and hopefully he doesn't have a toothache, or he doesn't break a bone, or have a health issue, or his car doesn't break down. And again, this is living insanely frugally with roommates and doing like the bare bones poverty-style living, all right? And this guy works 2 jobs, 56 hours a week. So basically, Jake here, he has 4 days out of the month that he gets to save, so $240. That's actually very generous for most people. He worked 240 hours this month, and so he earned $240 in 240 hours of working. Thus, he makes $1 an hour. And this means, realistically, that if he wanted to buy an $8 Starbucks drink, he has to work an entire 8-hour shift, a whole day, for a sugary drink that costs pennies. If this guy wanted to go to McDonald's and have a $12, extra large double meat cheeseburger meal or whatever, then he has to work 12 hours to afford that. If he wanted to buy a $400,000 house and he works 8 hours a day, it would take him 137 years, rounded up, to be able to buy that house. He's never going to do that in his lifetime because humans don't live that long. And if he wanted to buy a cheap $20,000 car, which is not cheap, but it is cheap on the, depending on how much cars cost, that would take him almost 7 years with no rainy days, no car breakdowns, no health issues, no, oops, I gotta buy my family gifts for Christmas. Oops, I have to spend money on a speeding ticket or something. A perfect 7-year record of just minimalist living, only eating $120 worth of food a month, going nowhere, having no fun, not buying video games, not paying for movies or anything. Literally just existing to work. It would take him 7 straight years of working. That is 2,555 days of work in a row without a vacation or a break or a day off to buy a car. Next up, we'll do someone who makes $60 an hour working one job, 8-hour shifts Monday through Friday, and lives alone. We'll do Samantha here. And you'll notice that, because the monthly calendar ends on a Monday, she is working 4 full weeks and then 1 extra day, so she gets an extra day of work. Now, Samantha lives a more luxurious life due to her big business tech savviness at LinkedIn or whatever, right, with the eucalyptus towels and the chai puddings. But her rent is $3,000, her food, and this includes alcohol, tobacco, going out for margarita towers every day, etc., etc. Car and gas, that's mostly on Uber and Uber Eats. She's getting food delivered. She's paying big money for her fancy new car and her premium gas and her trek to work and back, right? Entertainment, she has all the Netflix subscriptions. She's buying all the latest video games and movies and blah, blah, blah. And because she's a woman, she pays for clothes and makeup constantly to try to, mingle with dudes. And she also has education that she has to pay off, all that college to be able to get that techie job. Now, she also has to pay taxes, and, based on her yearly earnings, we take 15% of that, which is technically less than what she would pay, but we're being generous here. She also has some health issues, so she's paying a healthcare bill that could include health insurance, which most poor people don't even have. And finally, with some of her money, she is investing it because she doesn't want to work forever, and so that brings us to a total of... So she has $168 left over after all of this lucrative spending. And how many hours did she work this month? Well, I didn't mark it off on the calendar, but again, Monday through Friday, right? And including this little day here, of course. And so she worked 168 hours and she made $168 in her pocket. So, and again, now, yes, she does have investments. These could pay off, and mathematically they might or might not. It really depends on what she invested in. But at the end of the day, she is also just making $1 an hour, though she is able to eat much better, drive nicer cars, live in a nicer place, preferably with less crime, and so on and so forth. But it's still, she makes $1 an hour, just like you. So how do we make more than $1 an hour? What is the point of this video, right? Do we cut our costs? Yes, we do, but not everything can be costed. So how do you cut the cost of rent? So to cut the cost of rent, you would have to live in a very high crime, very ghetto area, and there's really not much more to it other than move out in the middle of nowhere in a flyover state. I believe their rent can be as cheap as $400 to $600. I've talked to a few YouTubers who live in very small towns in the middle of nowhere, and that's about how much they pay, whereas everyone else that has the big city life, they're going to pay more. And honestly, the best way would to try to cut your car costs by living as close to work as possible if you have to work at a location. Well, what about food costs? Well, food is simple. It's just eat barely above your caloric needs or below it if you're fat. And eat the cheapest things possible. For me, that is beans and rice, which I have been eating for years. And at one point I learned that El Salvadoran prisoners get beans and rice and tortillas, and I'm like, I don't want to eat worse than an El Salvadoran prisoner, so I started buying tortillas, which they're pretty cheap and they're high in calories. So I've raised my food bill slightly, but it's definitely not $2,000 a month like old Samantha here. Hell no, my food bill is the cheapest bill out of all of the necessities. Now, car and gas is probably one of the harder ones because if you drive around a lot, if you travel a lot, if you have to drive really far to work, yeah, this one can cost you. But for me, the way that I've lowered this bill is I don't own a car. I just don't own a car. And me and my girlfriend share a car. And so, it's her car, honestly. I just mooch off it, I guess. But don't tell her that. But the point is that together we don't drive anywhere. We don't go out. We maybe go out for grocery shopping, and that's like it, because we don't pay for no deliveries, no food deliveries of the sort. And so we maybe gas the car up once every 2 to 3 months or longer. We have the bare minimum of insurance, so that would be liability, the bare legal minimum, right? So yeah, if someone crashes into me, car's screwed. It's a gamble. Whereas if I crash into someone, at least I can pay for their damages through the insurance. It is legally required to drive where I'm from. But yeah, we have cut this cost as much as possible so that it doesn't, deplete our savings. Now, entertainment costs is something that I believe you can completely cut out of your life completely. There are plenty of free-to-play video games that you don't have to spend a dime on. You don't have to buy the latest Fortnite skins. You don't have to buy all the cool Korean free MMO game skins where your character looks like they're wearing a tuxedo or something in a post-apocalyptic game. You don't have to buy any of that stuff. And as far as movies goes, like, I know that there's all these people, they're like, my Netflix subscription's going up. It's like, why are you using Netflix? Now, YouTube prohibits me from going too deep into this subject, but I do want to say that there are ways to watch shows and movies, not at your own expense. But that's as far as I'm going to go there. If you want more info, you'd have to join my Discord server, link down in the description. But other than that, there's ways to get your entertainment for free, even if it's very, off the wall stuff like anime. Like there's plenty of places you can watch anime without, having to pay like a Crunchyroll subscription and stuff. And again, video games, yes, there are some games where you would have to pay money, but, sometimes you can just email the devs and be like, I work a crappy, like, I did this back when Overwatch came out. Overwatch used to cost money, okay? Overwatch was a Blizzard game. It was a $60 game. I emailed Jeff Kaplan. I emailed everybody, but Jeff Kaplan is the one that responded, and he was the lead dev of that game at the time. And I told him, it's like, bro, I'm working like 60 hours a week at a grocery store. I can't afford to play your game. Is there anything you can do? And he's like, yeah, man. He gave me a free copy. The lead dev, I sent him an email and he gave me a copy of the game. But now I'm a YouTuber, and so devs send me free copies of their games anyway. But there's ways to play games for free, okay? So education, clothes, and makeup. Now, these are things that you can heavily cut cost of. Now, I can't really speak much on education because I kind of gave mine up around 5th grade. And yeah, that's a whole story for a different video. But the point is that I can't help you with the education thing. I don't believe in education. I think it's a scam. As far as clothes go, you just buy the cheapest stuff at the cheapest places. I mean, I can get new shoes for like $20 that, yeah, have been worn before. But honestly, I haven't replaced my clothes or shoes in over 10 years, and just keep good care of them, right? And I'm buying like the cheap $8 shirts from a sporting goods store because it's light and it's cheap, right? And as far as makeup goes, women, you don't need to wear makeup, okay? It's a big advertising scam lie. All these, companies make you think, oh, you're not beautiful without makeup. You need to wear this. You need to do that. No guy's going to love you if you don't wear makeup. But it's all crap. It's all garbage. Just go out with your natural skin. And a lot of dudes, we won't say it, but we do appreciate it. Now, taxes, I mean, I'm not a tax guy, so you'll have to figure that out on your own. I know there's people like, oh, you can, like, if you're a YouTuber, you can claim business expenses on everything. And yeah, I guess you could, but it really depends on what your job is and what you do. I'm not an expert. I don't claim nothing. I just pay it all, whatever. I don't want to go to jail. Now, healthcare, I can't help you with healthcare because I haven't figured it out myself. Me personally, I just lay around and suffer, okay? I've had gout for about 3 weeks now and I can't walk. And yes, I'm aware I can go to a clinic and pay $200 for a consultation, and then they'll prescribe me a pill. I can go to a pharmacy and pay $100 probably for the pill and take it and be good in like 3 days. I understand that, but that's $300, and I'd rather lay around in pain and unable to walk for a month and save $300. But that's me, okay? So you do you. I guess get better pain tolerance. I don't know what to say. Now, investments are a risk. I'm not an investy guy. I don't believe in the like Bitcoin crap. I think, if it's not tangible in real life, it shouldn't be a thing that people dump money into, right? Like, I grew up playing video games and selling, like, RuneScape gold and World of Warcraft gold, okay? So I don't believe that those things have inherent value, but I know that rich people who want to waste their money and don't want to trade their time for fake virtual money will do so, at the drop of a penny or whatever, however they say it. But the point with investments is you should probably just invest in yourself first. Like, if your health isn't peak, then what good is putting your money into an investment when you could put money into a gym membership instead? I don't know. Anyway, that's my low budget video of why you make $1 an hour. So do this test yourself. Look at all your expenses and all your ridiculous spending on Starbucks drinks and food that you don't need. And do you make $1 per hour? I want you guys in the comments, if you made it this far, let me know in the comments. How much do you make an hour and how much do you technically make after all your expenses? Let's see if you beat the $1 an hour allegations. With that said, I normally make video game guides on this channel, so you can subscribe if you want. I don't care. I've already hit 150K. I got the plaque. I don't need more subscribers, really. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about why you make $1 an hour, because a lot of people, I'm like, bro, you make $1 an hour. And they're like, nuh-uh, I make $20 an hour. And they're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Just because your job pays you $20 an hour doesn't mean you make that much. Anyway, that's all I got. See you in the comments section. Click the video on the right side of your screen, or you're also going to get gout, and you'll have to go get a pill or something.